This guy got disarmed. Now, he kept his actual rifle, but he lost all of his ammo, and I'm going to tell you how this happened. Me and a group of 4 guys, we had 1 driver and we had 3 guys, so we were 4 deep in a truck. We were running some errands, doing some work, and there was this guy that was obviously drunk on the road. He was driving a truck as well. He was drunk, he was like not staying in his lane properly, and the driver, I'm not going to say his name, but I'm going to give you a hint. He's one of the regulars in my comment section. If he wants to say that he was the one, I don't want to out him like that. If he wants to out himself, he can out himself, but he's one of the regulars in my comment section. I'll give you a hint. I was with him this day, right? And so he pulls up alongside his car and he says, "Bro, you need to stop driving. You're drunk. You're out of control, bro. You're out of control." And the guy behind me was, "Fuck you, bro. Mind your business, dude." And he was talking like he's a wannabe gangster, and he was blaring rap music and shit. And so what happens is, we're like, okay, well, we're going to get away from you. You're going to kill somebody, bro. We don't want to be around this shit. And so we pull around him. And so this guy pulls back in front of us, like we're leapfrogging. It's like a 2-lane road, and there's a double line. So, but this is late at night. That's another thing. Shit like this happens late at night. But we get to an area that is kind of like well lit. And our driver gets out of the car. Now, our driver is a veteran, right? And he's actually been in Afghanistan. He's a fucking veteran. He gets out the car, and he says, "What the hell is your problem?" And then the drunk guy gets out of the car. "I'll tell you my problem." The guy gets out of his car, and he's got a rifle kind of like this. He's got a rifle kind of like this, only it's not painted camouflage, you know? But it's just like a black rifle, right? And it all happened so fast, so I don't even know exactly how it happened, to be honest with you, because it all happened so fast. This arm went up to the chin. This hand went down here. The magazine went nope. The charging handle went click. And then before you know it, this guy had no ammunition. And so what I just described to you guys, it sounds impressive. It sounds like something straight out of a movie. But it's really not. This is just a person that had a rudimentary understanding of the rifle and how it works. He realized this is a drunk guy. He can barely walk. He's stumbling around. And this person loses complete control of his rifle. He has no ammo anymore, right? And so what is the moral of the story? Well, this guy could have had a backup handgun. And if he had, that would have been a bad situation. But you could tell he was wearing baller shorts and he was wearing a wife beater. And you could just tell this guy thought that his AR-15 was a magic wand. He thought that this AR-15 would scare everybody there and make everybody there get back in their car and drive away. That's what he thought. So the moral of the story is your rifle is not a magic wand that's magically going to get everybody to cooperate. You need to have a handgun because you can be taken out of the fight. Somebody that knows what they're doing can take your magazine out of your weapon and rack your slide, right? And even if they don't rack your slide, now you're limited to 1 round. And how much use is that? You could struggle all day with this rifle, bro. It doesn't matter. The barrel's here, bro. And so if I've taken the magazine out of your rifle and you've only got 1 round, your odds of being able to do anything to me with that rifle go down exponentially. If me and Bob are struggling for control of this rifle, it's not hard for me to take the magazine out. It's one, I can hit you in the head with your own magazine. Boom! Boom! So where the bridge of the nose is right there, what if I, boom, hit you in the head with your own magazine? I mean, you've given me a weapon. I can hit you with your own magazine. You know, I mean, the rifle becomes a total liability. If you're a drunk driver, wannabe tough guy, wannabe gangster, and you think you're going to scare people with the AR-15, you're going to run into somebody like my friend that knew what he was doing. Or you'll run into me, and I know what I'm doing now. Now, the reality of that situation is the guy was drunk and he could barely walk, and you have to take things like that into account, okay? When you got a guy that has bought an AR-15 from the store that he's probably never actually shot, and he's stumbling around drunk trying to intimidate you with an AR-15, that's not the same thing as a trained soldier that knows what he's doing. You got a guy literally looking like this. It's a different situation than the situation we were in that night. We gave him his magazine back. We told him not to put it in the rifle, but we gave him his magazine back, and we let him drive home because he was like a half mile away from his house. we didn't involve the police. We didn't involve the police because we literally just had a skirmish involving a freaking firearm, and we didn't feel like involving the police. We let him drive home. We gave him his magazine back, and that was that. Right? We had already humiliated him pretty bad. He was already pretty humiliated. The fact that somebody literally took his magazine out of his rifle and racked his slide, and then his wife was like, look, he drinks, he's right down the street, either let me come get him or just let him drive home, because he's literally right down the street. We watched him drive home. We didn't involve the police. That's kind of how things happen in rural counties out here. I know you city people wouldn't understand it, but no police were involved. Isn't that crazy? I know in the city police would have gotten involved, because you need government involved in every aspect of your life in the city, and that's why I live in the country, because sometimes shit happens and I don't want the government involved. You know what I mean? Sometimes I want to just be free to make my own decisions and not have the government involved. I know that's crazy, but I mean, it's just my preference, right? Anyways, the moral of the story is, I want to reiterate the fact that we were knuckleheads. We probably should have gotten our truck, drive away, and called the police. Realistically, I'm not going to lie, it's probably what we should have did. But we were all young knuckleheads, and, our driver was, he had military training. He was in the military, so, he showed us what they do, right? If he wants to out himself, he can. He is in our comment section regularly. He is in the comment section regularly. Some of you know who I'm talking about. But that's his decision. I want to keep his identity private. If he doesn't want to out himself as the guy that did this, I would understand. He's a pretty humble guy, actually. I just wanted to share this true story. Happened not too far from where I'm at right now, actually. It happened a little ways down the road from where I'm at right now. So it's just a little interesting anecdote, and it's a valuable life lesson that I learned that night. Wow, like that rifle does not make you invincible. It's not a magic wand. Somebody that knows what they're doing can take your magazine from you, rack your slide, and you're done. Jordan Jareb, signing off.